Victor, this is such a pleasure to have this conversation with you. Maybe we can start off with, you can do a brief introduction, then I'll introduce myself, and then we'll have a conversation about ORSC and Agile, which I'm excited about.
My name is Victor Nunez. I'm calling from Bangkok, Thailand, where I'm currently based. I came from the world of computer systems, so spent 15 years in software development and leading teams, managing software development teams, and also developing myself software. And then one of my jobs ended up to be working in Afghanistan, where I got to work with people who are new in their careers, and I ended up coaching them on their careers. So I moved from software development to one-on-one coaching. And while I was doing one-on-one coaching, I discovered ORSC. When I discovered ORSC, I was an agile coach already during that time, because during software development time, I was using Scrum as a framework. So I've been using Scrum for 17 years. One-on-one coaching did have some benefit on my work as an agile coach during that time. However, when I discovered ORSC, it gave a whole new perspective of my work in the agile transformation. So that's why I'm here. I'm here to talk about the impact of ORSC in my agile transformation work.
Victor and I often co-lead. We are faculty members for CRR Global, Center for Right Relationship, who are the co-creators of the ORSC training, Organization Relationship Systems Coaching. So my name is Nairy McMahon, and I am the director of Radial Change, which is a company that runs the ORSC trainings. So we have the label CRR UK. I've been doing that for the last 6 years and have been a front of the room leader for the last 3.5 years or so. Prior to that, as everybody knows, I was a banker and also ran other enterprises, smaller investment companies. During that time, the most important thing was, how does the relationship or our relationship help us to deliver on the task? And that's what ORSC, Organizational Relationship Systems Coaching, gives to us. And I'd love to have a conversation with you, because we have lots of Agilists to come and do our courses, and they love it. And what I want is for every Agile and Scrum Master to come and do the course, because it is such a brilliant training. But also you come into a brand new community, you get a place to practice and hang out with lots of amazing people, and then take it back to your work. It would be great to hear from you. What does an Agile coach do? What does a Scrum Master do?
The Agile work is all about improving the way you work. It's changing the way we work in a way that's more customer-centric, more in tune to the team, and also meeting business needs. So those are the three key areas that we're looking at every time we do agile transformation or agile adoption. However, agile transformation or adoption is not an easy work, because not many organizations are ready for it. When I do trainings in agile, I often say that agile is a framework. It's like a skeleton for your organization. On that skeleton, you can build muscle. You can, depending on what your organization needs, you will have it bigger or smaller, lighter or heavier. So that's the practices. Those are the practices that you put in during agile transformation. However, like I said, some organizations cannot digest the agile transformation or adoption for whatever reason. So now I add in ORSC. Every time I train people on ORSC, I tell them that ORSC is now the digestive system of that framework. So when you add in ORSC into the coaching of Agile, then the people are naturally able to digest it, because you're working on their relationship. You're working on the system. You're working on the team itself. So they get better understanding of what they need. You can hear the voices of the team and understand what is needed to be done. When I learned ORSC, one thing that it gave me was a whole new view of what I'm looking at as a team. So one-on-one coaching, I still coach individuals in the team. That's so exhausting. And then after learning ORSC, I got to see the system as a whole, as an entity, and got to learn how to work with it. I often say to people who are interested in ORSC, you will get one thing at least, either tools or techniques to work with the system, if that is what you want. And you can get also skills of a systems coach. So combine, you are an ORSC coach.
That is the gift of ORSC. You've got this huge opportunity to have pragmatic tools to work with. And you have also an invitation to keep honing in the skills of normalizing. How do you normalize in a team? Everybody knows how to normalize. We all do it on an individual basis, but how do you do it with a team? How do you listen to what the team is saying? Very different from level 3 listening to a individual, but it's still level 3, but on a system. How do you ask open questions, powerful questions we use with an individual? And how do you do it? We call it blank access questions, where we're not interpreting what the team is saying. How do you be a mirror?
Yeah, when I was doing Scrum Master, I was a very strict Scrum Master, and I am still. I do all I can so that the team keeps moving with their work. I'm the servant leader for the team in the Scrum Master terminology. Since I learned ORSC, I learned how to let go a bit of that and serve the team differently, because I'm relying more on the team right now to find their own ways that more resonant to solving their own problems, me not pushing for the solution that I thought would be good for them. It's a very hard concept to digest, even for Scrum Master or Agile Coach. So the team comes up with their own unique way of Agile. It's a challenge for an Agile coach, though, to sell that to organizations. However, after a while, you will see the benefit of that, because, like I said earlier, with ORS, they're easily more digesting the transformation rather than rejecting it. I've been in a lot of transformation work before I learned ORS, and most of them just ended up going back to where they were. And one of my major transformation work that I did, where I handled over 50 teams in the transformation and training at least 13 agile coaches. And right now, the whole organization is agile because I added ORS into that. And I taught some of the ORS coach or the agile coaches there, some of the techniques and the skills that we practice in ORS.
You will meet Victor and me and other amazing leaders like us, where not only do we come in from mastery from the ORS perspective, but we all bring in different business experience and application, and learn in a very safe environment. How do you digest this information and how do you make the link? Obviously, you still have to go and practice in your teams, which is what we want you to do. If in the first couple of months it's a bit uncomfortable, just know that that is a normal learning process. One thing I know is because the Agile community is so committed to learning, they obviously understand the discomfort you feel at the beginning. Just to underline the way that the modules are set up. So you do a 2-day introductory course, which Victor, you said you did also work, and I did also fundamentals. So you have 2 options to come in. ORS fundamental kind of is more broader. The scenarios that you practice on are broader, whereas also at work, obviously, all the scenarios are contextualized in the workplace. So the 2 days you do, and then you immediately go into intelligence, which is really focusing on change. Those 2 actually really play beautifully together because you're introduced to the principles and the concepts in the fundamentals and how you would work with a team. And then you immediately go and practice those tools with additional skills on how you would do that in a change program. Very cleverly designed. So it's 3 days where you practice, and then you have about 3 weeks in between where before you are introduced to the next module, which is roles. And I know how much you love geography.
Yeah, the roles part is the most useful for me. So geography, the middle module is the most useful for me as an agile coach. Even in my own practice right now, that middle module is where I get most of my techniques from. I never actually do any agile transformation work without using any of those techniques in geography. And then after that is path, where path really helps in a multicultural environment, like where I work right now, and in the global environment, because it helps the team to communicate on the same level. I think that's one of the benefits I got from working with Path. It also allows the coach to tap into different levels of how people speak and how people communicate.
Systems integration. That's the beautiful module where you've learned all the skills and the tools of ORSC, and you spend 3 days practicing, and we hold you as a practitioner. And then you celebrate because you've done it. And from then, we have set you on a beautiful grounding to practice the tools and the skills you've learned having had 3 days to practice at the end of it,
Yes.
to go in and have the kind of impact you want in the world. Because fundamentally, that's what you want. Agilists
Yeah.
and Scrum Masters, you are committed to making sure that customers get what they want and the
Yes.
organization delivers that.
I'd like to highlight one thing around the series. When we, as Agile coaches, do Agile transformation, what happens normally is we do a survey. People sort of bought into the transformation. The senior management team is paying for it. The executives are all in. Everyone's happy. And then we move to the transformation. Now, after I learned ORS, there's also this missing piece that I realized when I learned ORS, and that was the intelligence piece. How do you move them from them wanting the transformation to the transformation? The transformation is the geography piece that we spoke about, where they define the roles, the teams, the purpose, the value of the team. But many miss the middle part, which is the change process. And ever since I learned intelligence and got certified in ORS, I often use that intelligence part to get the team to move from where they are to where they need to be. Not just jumping to where they need to be. There's still something in the middle that needs to be done. This is the missing link in Agile transformation. This will make or break the Agile transformation.
It's a superpower when an organization is
Yes.
working with an Agile coach who also has the ORSC qualifications and training.
For Agile coaches who are interested in ORS, it's an investment worth taking, not only for your team, but also for yourself.
Roughly, when was it when you did ORS fundamentals or ORS at work?
2006, I think.
And we are now at 2023, and it's still giving you something for you personally and something for the work that you do.
If you have any questions around ORS, please reach out to Nairy and the team around that. Thank you, Nairy, for giving me this opportunity to share my Agile coaching experience and also my take on ORS and Agile.